Right. Shall we get started, boys?
Go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there we go. Camera's on now. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 5 of season 9 of Inside the Jeep. We have a lot to get to today. I got Thor here, we got Caleb here, and James once again is not joining us this week. We wish him all the best. But here's your host, a man who should be named for a superhero, but wants nothing to do with Natalie Portman, Mr. Thor Marlowe. Take it away, my good friend.
All right, we flipped it, Caleb. Looks like I'm gonna get us rolling here. Thanks for listening in on our podcast today. We're gonna start out covering our games from last week, get some takes on things that we got a chance to see from film, and then we'll work on our picks for the games of this coming week, and keep it rolling. Caleb, as far as games from last week. You got one you want to start us with?
Yeah, let's start off with the Tomahawks at the Crusaders. Tomahawks on top 72-6. I got a chance to watch this game film. Not much to be said other than Mifflin County domination. That no matter what the Tomahawks wanted to do, they were able to do it. Crusaders had no answers. Um, there's not a lot to say about this one. Tomahawks are just that much better. The Crusaders were just that much worse, and it was an easy win for Mifflin County.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like Tomahawks definitely had control of the game over the course of first whistle to last whistle. I honestly didn't get to watch but a few minutes of the film, so I don't have as many particulars for you as I'd like to say I have.
I mean, I watch every film at least twice normally. This one I watched once. If you've seen a couple minutes of it, you've seen the whole thing. It's just whatever Mifflin County attempted to do, they did it. There were zero answers on the part of the Crusaders. Uh, Offense and defense were scoring touchdowns for Mifflin County. Ugly, ugly game for the Crusaders. Big, big win as far as points are concerned for Mifflin County.
All right, next game.
All right, we're gonna go to Williamsport. Wolves made the trip to Williamsport. Wildcats came out on top 48-22. This was actually pretty fun to watch. I know the score doesn't quite suggest it, but these teams felt pretty evenly matched up. Uh, Isaiah Hankins looked really good. I thought he was very comfortable in the pocket. He made some pretty good throws, throwing to guys who weren't open yet, anticipatory throws. I thought he looked good deciding when he wanted to run instead of being forced to run. The offensive line, I think, played a lot better for Williamsport. And defensively, the Williamsport was much better. They were good. They're not great, but they were better than they've been. I thought they got to the quarterback pretty regularly. Um, as far as the Wolves are concerned, sporadic quarterback play throughout. I thought the quarterback was pretty good. Could have been better. Um, he's got to let go of some of these like common mistakes of just throwing across the field. I mean, he's got 2 or 3 interceptions just not doing that alone. Um, no consistency on the defense, however, and just overmatched defensively with Williamsport's offense.
Yeah, I saw Elliot Walker returned. He's a big impact on a game as soon as he steps on the field. I believe he had a couple of receiving touchdowns for them. Again, I think you said this is 44-20, so those two alone, um, you know, create the gap in this game. And they were much more efficient with him.
Yeah, and the one thing from the Wolves is I've been saying this for a few weeks now, that I didn't know what they wanted to be on offense. I saw a little bit of what they were trying to do on offense. The running game was there a little bit. The passing game, like I said, that took some strides forward. They hit a couple of screen passes, they hit a couple of wheel routes. But as far as just consistency within the passing game, if they would have had that on Saturday, this would have been a closer game. Couldn't protect the quarterback. When he's scrambling, he's just trying to get rid of the ball. He throws it in the bad spots, and that's where you get the interceptions from.
All right, next up.
We will go to Dauphin County. Comanche hosted the Buffaloes. Comanche on top, 56-20. From start to finish, I thought the Comanche controlled this game. There was never any really in doubt. Very strong running game per usual this season for the Comanche. The offensive line played well. I thought that the running game with London Johnson as well, when he decided to run or on the design QB runs, they all worked well. On both sides of the ball, Comanche on the line of scrimmage, especially on defense, they suffocated that offensive line for the Buffaloes. Levi Cook ran for his life most of the day, and that's just not the strength of that Buffalo offense, is to scramble and make plays out of nothing. They play better when everything's by design and working the way it's supposed to work. Got them off rhythm all day long. Yeah, start to finish, Comanche dominated.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And the Comanche were able to score more than just one way. They came out and got a big return right off the get, score on the first handoff of the game. And just kind of came out and set the tone. Buffalo stayed pretty aggressive. I feel like they flew to the ball and played pretty decent on most of their special teams side of things, but their offense and their defense were outmatched throughout the day.
That's the concerning thing about the Buffaloes, is if they can get some sort of control in the line of scrimmage, it might make for a better game. I don't think they have depth. I don't think they have the depth on either side of the ball. And that's really it, is what is affecting them this season, is just not having depth and no quality of play within the line of scrimmage.
Right. Definitely trench depth.
All right, Thor, shall we get into it? Final game of week 3.
We shall.
The Central PA Legends took a trip to Mova to take on the Vikings. Legends 40, Vikings 22. Go ahead, Thor. The floor is yours.
Ultimately, we know the offensive players on the Legends are guys who play together for years, and they really capitalize on, even the most simple of mistakes that a defense can make. And that was the story of the day. I mean, our defense played as well as we could. Had a couple guys go down, a couple spots that we were in a little bit of trouble as far as the depth went. But ultimately, our games against the crew and the Legends, their defensive guys and their offensive guys, a lot of guys on our team have a bunch of history with those guys. Again, even ones that didn't play here, and it's always a good matchup against them. And it was just a good, solid day of football. Got a little bit of weather there in the middle of the game. I think we went into halftime. It was 28-14, I think. Came out in the second half. Wore down in a couple of spots. And ultimately, the Legends did a great job capitalizing on it and played a great game. So we gave the, I forget what James's term for it was, but the belt that can get traded, handed off to people when you lose a game, handed it off to the Legends, and the Legends now have that belt. So we'll see, if it's able to circulate anymore this season. And that was it. I mean, we did not win in the trenches throughout the day. We made some rotation decisions that wore us down a little more than we wanted to in areas, and here we are. So you saw the film.
Yeah, I watched it a couple of times. Yeah, I think what you just said was spot on. The first quarter was actually scoreless. You guys it kind of felt like you're filling each other out a little bit. I thought your running game early on was pretty good. And you seem to get away from that as the game went on. And I think the part of that is just trying to play catch up a little bit because you guys did score first. And then it was two quick touchdowns in succession by the Legends. They caught a third one right before the half. So at that point, I feel like you're trying to play a little bit of catch up. But like you said before, there was just small mistakes here and there that maybe turned the game a little bit. I thought that you guys were pretty strong early on as well, like on offense and defense. Like you said, you just wore down. It'll happen. I noticed your guard was playing both ways as a nose guard on defense. And we have him play open as an offensive line, then he comes back to play offense. That's a very good defensive line for the Legends. They were very active all day long.
Right.
So I think if you guys just clean up a few things, this game could have gone differently. I really do. It was just small mistakes here and there, like you said, and then just getting worn down. That second matchup should be a good one, though. I'm looking forward to that one.
Ooh.
On to the standings after week 3. Only one undefeated team left. It's the Comanche at 4-0. Three-way tie between the Legends, Vikings, and Tomahawks, all 3-1. Buffaloes and Wildcats. Buffaloes 1-3. Cats at 1-2. Wolves 0-4. Crusaders 0-3. Which I think is a perfect segue right into upcoming week 4. Crusaders at the Wolves.
This is a game I've been waiting on.
Yeah?
I wasn't sure which week it was going to come up. And honestly, it kind of surprised me that it was this week. But, this is a team where, one is a new expansion. The other one is, a second year expansion team. Both have pieces from different places that, are learning to gel and play together. I just thought one fairly major factor in this game was going to be who was home. The Wolves probably have a solid 4.5 hour drive to get to the Crusaders, I bet. And fortunately, we've seen a Wolves team that has improved each week and hasn't fell off. So, I mean, I'm looking at a Wolves team that's really hungry to get that first win, and I'm guessing they travel fairly well. So,
yeah, I think this is going to be a belt to behind kind of game for the Wolves. I know that the traveling there, I don't think that matters, honestly. I think that the Wolves are going to trounce the Crusaders. I've not seen anything from the Crusaders that makes me think different about how this game's going to go. Wolves will control the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. The Wolves have better athletes. Wolves are better coached. Ding, ding, ding. I got Wolves 49, Crusaders 6, and that is a sympathy 6. For that is a sympathy 6 points.
Wow, that is not ultimately what I was really expecting there. We've seen little sparks and bursts from the Crusaders. They put up I think 20 or just over 20 on the Buffaloes. They were able to put up a couple scores when they played us. They've got some threats, but I do think the Wolves win the game. but I'm thinking it's more like 44-30.
Okay, yeah, so yeah, they did put up 24 over the Buffaloes, but as we've seen with the Buffaloes, I mean, that was weather was a part of that game as well. 18 points against you guys, and it's just 6 last week against the Tomahawks. I'm not too confident in their ability to put up any points. Danny, what say you?
I think the team that has no wins isn't going to get any more luck get any luck this week against the Wolves. I'm gonna go with Wolves 34, and I think we said the Comanche 10.
Crusaders.
Crusaders, I'm sorry. I know it was a C. Sorry, Comanche. Wolves 34, Crusaders 10. And
All right.
The Crusaders continue their winless season.
All right, moving on.
Stay tough, Crusaders.
We've
Yes,
got
keep that head above water. I'm only kidding, Crusaders. I'm only kidding. I'm sure you guys are gonna win one game this year, if not more.
moving on. Buffaloes hosting the Wildcats.
Buffaloes are home, huh?
According to what I wrote down, yes. I did double check. Buffaloes are at home. Rematch from last year in the playoffs. I don't fully know what to expect out of the Buffaloes on this one. I could be wrong here, but based on the way they've played at home, they've not won at home yet. And I'm going to tell you right now, I believe in Williamsport this week. I think they got enough to get this one done. We just said the Buffaloes can't control the line of scrimmage so far this season on either side of the ball. Maybe defensively, if they keep running that two-man front like they've been doing, there's a chance they can do it against Williamsport this week. I don't think that offensive line holds up against the Williamsport defensive line. Could be wrong. But I think it's going to be Williamsport controlling the line of scrimmage. I think Isaiah Hankins has another good game. Elliott Walker's there. He's going to have a good game. I like this offense right now that I saw. It's been getting better week by week for Williamsport. I've got Wildcats 42, Buffaloes 36.
I think that's pretty close to where I'm at. Buffs seem a bit banged up, but they do come home and play a lot more aggressive at their home field. But they come out with that explosiveness in the beginning. But again, like we mentioned from last week, is where do they have depth to rotate? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's definitely starting to show late in games. I think that this could be one of those tale of two halves. Buffaloes could come out. I could see them potentially being up like 32-22 and ultimately run into the same problem that they ran into against the Tomahawks, run out of steam late in the game. And I think that the Wildcats could pull it out 44-40.
not bad. What say you, Danny?
So it's the Wildcats and the Buffaloes, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm gonna go Buffaloes 40, Wildcats. Let's do 37.
Okay, so you're going
Ooh.
Buffaloes win
Yes,
at home.
because I am absolutely sick of picking the same team as you guys.
All right,
That's-
man.
and that-
Give us that lone wolf howl.
Okay. Oh, that was bad. Sorry.
Haunting. Haunting.
Oh, no, that was worse. No, I'm not gonna do it. Okay. Howl there.
Perfect. All right, moving on. Next game up, Mifflin County traveling to the Legends. It's gonna be a good game too. This could be another good game. Ultimately, though, I think that the Legends have more weapons than the Tomahawks. I think the Legends are better up front than the Tomahawks. Tomahawks got heart. They play hard. They're going to give you 100% for 4 quarters. I just don't think it's going to be enough this week. I got the Legends on top 63-32.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think this is a terrible matchup. Tomahawks have showed us some explosive ability again on both sides. We want to try to underplay their D line a little bit, but they got a rookie nose tackle that's really starting to make an impact on a lot of games that they're playing. I definitely think that Mifflin County is going to be able to score, but I just don't know if it's going to be able to outscore the Legends here. So I'm going to say Legends 56, Tomahawks 26.
I'm with you. I don't think the Legends are losing this week. I'm gonna go Legends 50, Tomahawks. Let's go 30.
All right. And with that, we move on to the final game of week 4. Yet again, Thor, you're the game of the week.
Yep.
Vikings at Comanche. I'm going to let you go first on this one. I know you can't really make a pick, but talk about what this game means to you right now, because this is a pretty long-standing rivalry going on.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a long-standing rivalry. We started out with our original rivalry being against the Tomahawks, but things really started to shift around 2019 to a big rivalry with Comanche. Over the course of the season, or over the course of the last decade, we've had some excellent matchups. Some people, and I would think a lot of people, would tell you that Comanche Vikings might be the best rivalry in the history of GEFA football. We've had games go to triple overtime. We've had multiple conference championships against one another. We've faced each other in the championship. Monk and I have known each other as coaches for quite some time, and we always expect a big game against these guys. We're watching film, we're preparing. I always pick Vikings all the time, always, no matter what. So Vikings my pick. I don't give a score when I do that, but it's always interesting going to their field. There's a lot of excitement. Like I said, it's a rivalry that has a lot of passion on both sides of the field. I know the Comanche are, especially their core guys that have been there and been through the rivalry over the years, always get fired up, keep this game circled each year. So like I said, I'm expecting a hell of a game, and we'll be heading to Comanche territory on Saturday.
Yeah, I can speak to what you're talking about this rivalry. I've played one game now in this rivalry with you, obviously, and we won that game, but it was not easy. The Comanche played very hard, especially in this one. So I'm expecting a big time game out of you, both of you guys here. Focus, as normally for me, is going to be in the trenches. I've been saying for weeks now that this is the best offensive and defensive line in the league. So I think whoever controls it up front is going to control the game. I think the Comanche have a very, very good defense that does fly to the ball every single play. And I think the Vikings have a very good defense as well. You guys fly to the ball as well. I'm gonna go, and sorry for this one, Thor. I'm going Comanche 45-38. But I could see this going the other way too.
Caleb, you're gonna lone wolf it. I'm taking the Vikings 30-25.
All right. Awoo, there's my howl.
Better than mine.
Yours had heart though, Danny.
Oh, thank you, Thor. Appreciate it.
You're right. I have no heart. I have no heart whatsoever. I can easily be bought and sold. That will conclude the previews for week 4 in tonight's show. Thanks for listening. Good luck to everybody coming up on Saturday. Danny, Thor, any last words?
No, just a quick shout out. Happy 20th anniversary to YouTube. 20 years ago today, the first video of my day at the zoo was uploaded to the site. What were you guys doing 20 years ago?
What time of the day was it?
I don't think.
Was it
Let me try to look it up. Just, something fun to end on. First.
I was 23 and I was 5 years out of high school already.
It does not say what time it was,
okay? So
but it
I
was.
was 20. I was 20 years old when that came out, and
You're in college, right?
I was in college or just out of college, maybe. I don't know if I was during the day. I was watching TV. If it was during a night, I really can't say.
It was April 23rd, 2005.
I would have lived down in Raleigh, North Carolina at the time.
Oh no, I was still in high school. My bad. I'm still in high school at that point. I'm
In
sorry.
2005? In
Yeah,
April of '05?
I graduated June 05. I forgot.
So
But yeah,
you
I
were
was
a month away from being out of high school.
about 6 or 7 weeks. Yeah.
All right.
What a time to be alive it was. I tell you that.
What, in 2005?
Oh my God. Yeah, we're dropping videos about going to the zoo. What a time to be alive.
Fair point.
I'm
Fair point. Well, on that note, that is going to end inside the GFA for this week. Hopefully, James is back with us for next week. For Thor, for Caleb, for our entire
Right.
fan base who may or may not be watching this. I'm Jenna Morales, and we will see you guys on the next episode next Wednesday, 9:30 p.m. Central. Enjoy the
9 p
draft tomorrow night, everyone.
9 p.m., not 9:30.
9 p.m. Crap.
Yeah.
Enjoy the draft tomorrow, everyone.
Later, guys.
Peace.
Peace.